So hello everyone and welcome to another regular size review. My name is Sam and I'm joined with Jacob, and today we got another guest on the show. We have Jamie and we have Sam, who featured on our Spider-Man review. He's not going to be talking, he's just sitting in the corner just listening to us, but he might chuck in an odd line or two here and there. So like that. So anyway, how are you doing, Jamie?
Good, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, great to have you. And how are you, Jacob?
Yeah, very good, thanks, mate.
Fantastic. So it's been 12 hours since we've walked out of the cinemas to see Joker. And very good movie. We're going to be doing a 5-minute non-spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to, this next 5 minutes or so will be non-spoilers, so you can listen all you want. And then after that, we're going to get into the real spoilers, really discuss the movie overall, and really get into the whole meat and potatoes of the movie, I guess you could say. So who wants to go first? Give their thoughts on
Jamie,
the movie.
how about you go first,
Jamie,
mate?
you go first. What do you think of the movie?
Oh, I thought it was unreal. I don't know. I definitely heard a lot about it, like a lot of hype, very good ratings, you know, the 8-minute standing ovation, all that jazz. Won the film festival in Venice, but I was blown away. I thought it was deep. I thought, is it Joaquin or Joaquin?
Joaquin.
So, neither of those.
Joaquin.
I thought Joaquin was unreal. I reckon he'll definitely get Academy Award nominated.
Mm-hmm.
Top rated.
Yep.
It'd be hard to beat, but yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Very nice. Jacob?
Okay, I'll go. I don't know. I can't say much else without spoiling, but yeah, it definitely really did live up to the hype. Remember when we talked about how there was a standing ovation, that you and I were a bit scared that Batman v Superman also got a standing ovation by the Warner Brothers executives.
Yeah.
And that turned out how it did. So we were a bit nervous that maybe it was just, you know, like a bit of hype for
this
that.
one, I didn't think their standing ovation was the executives though, was it?
I thought it was internal.
Joker.
No,
for Joker, no.
Joker.
Sorry, that's right.
Yeah, I thought that was the difference.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so like it really did live up to the hype, and I can say that very, very confidently. Sam?
Yeah, I think for me, it was like when I walked out of the cinema, I was like, this makes sense. Like for the Joker to be how he was, like the way, like I'll try and explain it without giving spoilers. Like, you know, when you think of the Joker and how fucked up he is as like a person to do like the things he does in like comics and other movies and stuff, watching this movie was like, okay, it makes sense that he's mentally deranged because of all the things that happened to him, and you could just see, I think, the portrayal of how he went to being like the full-on fucked up person he was.
Yeah, it made you think.
It was like this, like it's understandable, like not understandable. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It
was enough to send a guy into that kind of state when you're already mentally ill.
You're almost empathetic for him.
Yeah.
Let's touch on that a bit later.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a really good talking point I want to talk about in spoilers.
Yeah. But I think that overall the movie was just phenomenal. It's honestly one of the best films I've seen. Yeah. And like there's such things like the laugh, like Joaquin's laugh. The first time I heard that, like in the cinema, I got like little goosebumps. And even like at the end, like I was like blown away at how amazing he was in the movie and how to the extremes he went. Like even when I saw him, like, and how much weight he lost, it was just like, I felt like I got chills. I was like, fuck, like this is like a guy who's gone through it, and like
he really threw himself into the role, didn't he?
He really threw himself into the role, and he's got to win the award. He's got to you know, it was just an amazing performance and amazing movie overall. But I would say it's very confronting, very disturbing, and it's like something, you know, that's probably my only warning if you're gonna go see it. It is very, very confrontational.
Yeah, you need to be. Yeah, you need to be prepared to
deal with it.
To deal with, like, because you can very easily come out of this movie and feel very differently about society and way things are. So just be prepared that might happen.
It's not like your standard comic book film, is it? Like,
you
go see Ragnarok and you leave like pissing yourself. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's got the plot, but like this one you leave and you just processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that again when we talk about Todd Phillips' direction style, because there is one thing that he came out and said a while back, and I haven't told you guys this, but I think it's quite interesting, and it kind of ties into the movie. But overall, yeah, amazing movie, and I do understand, and I kind of like the fact that he didn't use a lot of comic book like references and stuff in the movie, and it was more, you know, his take on how the Joker became the Joker, rather than like, you know, like in the comic books, as you said last night, Jacob, like, you know, he gets beat up and he laughs about it, but there's no real reason to it. Whereas, like, you know, when
this sheds a bit of light on it.
Sheds a bit of light. So that's probably our spoiler-free thoughts on the movie, I guess you could say. Anyone else? Anything?
Yeah, let's jump on into
Yeah, if this is all spoilers from here on out, I'm putting the formal warning out. I'm saying it a bunch of times. There's no excuses. Spoilers from here on out in this review.
All right.
So first thing, do you want to go into Joaquin's performance?
Like, I would like to go into Joaquin's performance.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
I know you're excited. You're
yeah, look, honestly, the Oscar buzz is very much well deserved. Like it's genuinely insane how good he is in this movie. So spoiler alert. Well, again, we've already said it.
I've already said it. It's fine.
But he's got a mental illness. It's kind of like there's that point in the film when he finds out that his mother was abusive towards him.
Wasn't his mother?
Well, you know, like the whole situation. But she helped with the abuse situation. I mean,
didn't really do anything.
And then he kind of goes, he doesn't actually need the drugs.
Yeah.
So does he and the laughing thing? Is the laughing thing an actual illness that he? Yeah. Or was it just because of the drugs?
I think it was because mix of the drugs and the fact that like he was beat up as a child and it like neurologically fucked him up.
He's just messed up.
Okay. Because I thought that at that point that he was like, oh, I actually don't have this illness. This laughing thing is not an actual thing. It's just because of the drugs. I thought, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, but yeah, he has the mental illness that he laughs in situations that don't make any sense, and as a result, he kind of gets beat up throughout the movie. But he just his performance is genuinely amazing.
Yeah, I think the way he committed himself to the role, like he was so gangly and skinny and just looked.
It was scary.
He looked sick, and it was just like really confronting, just physically, and then his acting was just so confronting, and he was so like. He was just scary, and he made you feel really uncomfortable sitting and watching him.
He did, yeah.
And his laugh was amazing. The thing I like a lot about the Joker as a character is how he's been portrayed like so many times, and they're all so unique.
Yeah.
And like his laugh was so different to Ledger's and Leto's and that before him. Like it sounded like it hurt. Like when he was laughing, like you could tell he was like it was hurting him. Like it was.
Yeah, he didn't. It didn't seem like he wanted to laugh.
And did you see that when he laughed, he like choked himself to stop himself laughing?
Yeah.
Like that's what made me think like it was a genuine condition because he.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I do agree with that. Just before you go, Sam. He just like I said this straight out of the movie. I said this to both of you. My favorite aspect of the laugh was pretty much that, like all the other Jokers, especially in the comics and the cartoons and stuff like that, he gets beat up and he's just laughing, and you kind of go, why is he laughing? Like I get he's a Joker, but it's not like it doesn't make actual sense. Like I know he's a deranged person, but it doesn't. It's just kind of weird anyway.
Weird, yeah.
But here, like he's getting beat up or something bad's happening to him and he's laughing because of the condition, and I love that. Like that's how they kind of put that together, because I thought it made him even more of a fucked up person.
Yeah, it did. It added a whole nother element to that.
I've had some time to think about this, and it's starting to make sense to me. And I want your boys' opinion. Like, tell me if I'm like crazy enough what I think. But the laugh is like key to me, because when I think about it, if I compare, I don't want to compare to Heath Ledger's Joker. I think they're two separate performances. I want to compare the two, but I want to compare like the time period of where the Jokers take place. So like Joaquin's was like as he was becoming the Joker, and Heath Ledger's is like when he was being the Joker for God knows how long. And the way I kind of look at it is like his laugh was like him in pain, and like, you know, he would laugh in situations where it was quite painful and he was suffering, and he was just kind of like, you know, wasn't liking, you know, the pain. But then like when you go to Heath Ledger's, it's like, you know, every he laughs or he does something, he's like learned to cope with the pain, and it's like second nature to him. And it's like kind of like he's not, I'm trying to think of the word, he's like, it doesn't faze him that he's in pain. And I think over the movie, and this is probably more going into the story here, he gets beat up in the movie 2 or 3 times.
Once on the subway,
once
at the start, and then he gets punched a lot.
And he gets punched
by Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, but like I compare the two beat up scenes because I feel like this was a very important part of the plot. So like very at the start when he gets beat up by those kids, you can see he's like, you know, really upset and really just suffering. But then when he like gets beat up on the second time on the subway, instead of just accepting it, he grabs the gun, shoots the 3 guys, and he like enjoys it. And it kind of shows like that's like the plot twist for me. It was like he just snaps and he just becomes evil in like a way. It's like his time where he just like snaps and is like, fuck you all, like fuck the world. Like I accept my pain and I'm just going to wreak havoc on the world as it is.
Well, that's that thing, isn't it? Like he spoke about how he felt non-existent like in his whole life. And then he committed those 3 murders on the subway and it was all the whole city was talking about. And he felt like he finally had a presence and was like being noticed. He just like, he got addicted to it almost.
Yeah, exactly. I like that they showed that like obviously he's a sick individual and then he does those things.
Yeah.
Not because he wants to in the like initially, but because he's never really had a chance to kind of fight back.
He didn't go out with the intent of killing someone.
And then he's never had a chance to like he's never had a chance to fight back and then he finally does and I like that it was I feel like the other Jokers, it's like you kill him because you're the Joker. Yep. But this one was like, he's killing because he, as I just said, he hasn't had a chance to fight back ever in his life and he finally gets given a gun and someone's fucking with him and he's like, I've had enough of this. And then the fact that he likes it and that he isn't bothered by it, it was just a great touch, I think.
Yeah, that was my point where I was like, you know, this is like, that's like, you know, what made the origin story so good for me was like, you know, he wasn't his intention to hurt people because like the whole movie, it was like, you know, my intention is to make people laugh and make people happy. And then he shoots someone or shoots 3 guys, finds out that his mum, the person who's been telling him the whole time to be happy and smile, you know, treated him like shit his whole life. And he's like, well, his glimmer of hope that he's had in his life, gone.
That's what was great as well. I was very happy when that happened for like him as a character to see like where he would go. I was very happy that happened. I was very happy that he killed his mum as well because I was like,
no, that's a bit
grim. Because because it was that last. His mum was the last little glimmer of hope he had in the world. Had he not had his mum, he probably would have killed himself.
Yeah,
before any of the events had transpired. So the fact that he did that and like, I thought that was the real proper turning point. I didn't think the turning point was when he killed those 3 guys on the subway. I thought it was when he kills his mum. Because then he's like, that's it. I'm this person now.
Yeah, that's true.
I reckon the turning point was when he talked to Thomas Wayne. Because he started the movie. Yeah. He started the movie and the only thing in his life was his mum. And then he reads his letter. And
he thinks he's got more. Thinks
Thomas Wayne is his father.
Yeah.
Has a brother. And then digs into it deeper, discovers that he's not related to them and he's not even related to his own mum.
Yeah.
Like he starts with one, thinks he's got more and then loses it all.
Yeah. It shows like signs of like how he gets hope, like glimmers of hope, and then he just continues to lose it all.
Yeah.
And one of the scenes, I don't know, this was like an underrated scene for me, like that I really liked, was, you know, the scene where the 2 guys, the midget and the other guy, come into his house?
Yes.
And he kills one of them?
Yes.
And he leaves the other go?
Yes.
That was like...
That was good. I really loved that.
When I saw that,
Tarantino-esque. I was like,
when I saw that, I was like, holy fuck, like, wow. But like, it was just...
I was so scared the midget was going to die.
Yeah, no, I felt bad for the midget. But like, you know what I loved about that scene so much? It showed the mental instability of the Joker, because it was like, he just brutally murdered this one guy and just casually goes on like nothing happened to the other. And like, you know, has a laugh about it, lets the guy out because he can't reach the lock, and just like goes on like nothing happens. And it just kind of shows how sick he really was and like how like, you know, he did it like because he gave him the gun, got him into this trouble, and just let the other guy go. But it was just like such like a snap where he like killed the guy and then just snapped back into like his normal
and
like Arthur person.
And you've seen, like, I know in the Arkham games there's plenty of times where Joker does that, where he just kills him and he's like, and it doesn't faze him, he's back to normal, and it's like it was good to see that element played out.
While we're on that scene, I want to cut to Todd Phillips real quick.
Yep.
So like a lot of this movie is provoking you to think about things deeper. And that exact scene, like when the midget was walking out and Arthur, or the Joker, was like to him, was like, you're the only one that was ever nice to me. Like, that just got me thinking. I'm like, well, I'm just going to be a saint from now on. I am never going to say a bad word about anyone.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did think, like, it had me thinking a lot of times throughout the movie, like, you encounter people acting strange or different a lot of the time, and now it's like the laughing thing, for example. It's like, while I probably wouldn't have reacted the way those Wall Street guys did, we're drunk or not, to someone just laughing.
Exactly.
Like, it makes me think, like, if a situation like that does arise in our society, it's like, I've got to be more considerate. Like, they may not be able to help themselves.
Is it? Like,
no, it's really not.
The cut to welfare and what is it? The mental health institutions.
Yeah,
that's real. Like, that's happening. Yeah. And then people like that out there aren't getting the help. Like, it's not that far from like accurate. Like,
not at all. Exactly.
And I think that was like one of the good things. It was able to like put a realistic twist on it, like, you know, of someone's misfortune in like an actual real world situation, which is very viable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's more Todd Phillips' shock value as a director. And this is what I want to get into. This is my transition point here.
Yep.
So Todd Phillips, he said, this is a quote from him, says that woke culture is killing comedy movies, which is why he stepped away from them. And I'll read you the quote, and I will explain why I think, like, you know, shock value is really important. And the quote was, "Go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture. There were articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because all the fucking funny guys are like, fuck this shit. I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You guys can't do it, right? So just go out. I'm out. And you know what? With all my comedies, I think that what comedies in general all have in common is they're irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent but fuck comedy? Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn its head with this." And so that's where it really came from. And I think, so take that quote where he's like, you can't make comedies anymore because people get offended too much. It's basically what he's saying. Sorry?
It's just, everything's got to be
politically correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Everything's got to be politically correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
we get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, it's just not going to go well.
That's all right. We can't talk half the time on the show either.
Oh, we're horrible. Yeah.
But like, what I was like, my point to this was like, you know, he took his shock value from comedy, you know, making a really like offensive joke or like, you know, and he added it to, you know, a different way with the Joker. Like, you know, when he, you know, like when he killed those three guys on the subway, I was not expecting that. No. When he killed the guy with the scissors, not expecting that. And honestly, when he killed his mum, I wasn't expecting.
I was kind of expecting to kill.
Yeah. No, but like I didn't expect him to do it like so grim.
Okay.
Like it was a very grim.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And just a snap. But like a lot of the movie was like on shock value to me, I felt. And, you know, a lot of the things were very confrontational and very confronting. I thought that was like very shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just kind of taken that shock value from his comedy and put it towards more serious things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. 100%.
And to make it very emotional and confrontational.
I was thinking about this though. I was thinking the movie, like the killing scenes themselves are like incredibly graphic and full on, but like you compare it to a movie like Deadpool, like I don't reckon it's as violent as Deadpool, and I don't reckon it's as gory as Deadpool.
No,
because it's so more intense and it's so more serious.
Yeah,
and it's very like dark meant to be confronting. Like, yeah.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. I think Phillips did a really, really, really good job with this movie.
Yeah.
So many of the scenes where he's just where he's walking up the stairs to begin with, and when he's dancing on the stairs, and even the ending when he's in that white hospital and he's just walking down the hall, like where he just provides a bit of the background and then you just let Joaquin Phoenix do his thing in the scene. Yeah. It just looks stunning.
I was watching an interview with him the other day, and the only choreographed scenes was the one on the stairs at the end, and I can't remember.
Do you mean the one where he's dancing before he goes to the thing?
On the way to the Bill Murray show.
Yep.
Bill Murray show.
Yeah.
Oh no, Murray something.
Bill
Murray is Bill Murray. Yes.
Bill Murray. That's from Zombieland. I watched that the other night. Bill Murray's in that one.
How quietly Zombieland 2 trailer before the movie.
Looks very
good. Very
so
good.
Excited.
Very keen. Very keen.
So excited.
We're going to see that definitely.
Everything that he did in this movie at Phillips, I think was just very like the scenes was set very well, showing Fleck as a man and like who he is, and then just honestly like the whole progression from who he is at the start of the movie right to the end is amazing. And I think obviously the character. I mean, no one's seen anything like this. No one's seen a villain movie.
No.
And we discussed Sam and I discussed that, and Brian discussed this outside, that what other villain could you do like this with a solo movie?
Yeah.
And I don't think you could do any movie, Marvel, DC, with any villain other than the Joker, because you're not interested in it. Like, you're just not going to be interested on who he is in the beginning, and then who he becomes. So Phillips just needs to be applauded, man. It's genuinely amazing.
Yeah.
And like, I think we've already touched on the story like as a whole, but just the way, there's so many factors that went into this movie, and there's so many things that we've all touched on in like these 20 minutes we've been talking, of like how many things have like accumulated and changed between his change from, Arthur to Joker. And it's just crazy. And it's just amazing.
Such a deep character study, isn't it?
It's such a deep thing you can go into. And I honestly think I need to rewatch this to give like more, like a more proper.
I think this movie will be studied.
For a long time.
There are so many different themes that you can do,
especially with the ending
and
this
imagery.
Movie's going to be a topic for a long, long time.
Yeah. So a little bit tying into the ending. Did you guys like the kind of connection between Batman and the Waynes?
Yes. Can we like recap it a little bit just so we're all on the same page?
So essentially what happens is I called this 5 minutes in my head. 5 minutes before it was revealed, I was like, he's his son. About halfway through the movie, I'd say. So the whole movie, Arthur's mum
foreshadowed that a bit though, didn't they?
They did, yeah. The whole movie, Arthur's mum is like, Thomas Wayne's going to help us out because they're very poor. Thomas Wayne's going to help us out. He's going to be here to save us. I just need to keep writing to him.
When he's on TV calling employees their family, she goes, like,
exactly.
See, I've told you we are family.
Exactly. And then so that happens, and then so she writes a letter. She goes to bed, whatever. And then Arthur reads the letter and essentially just says that Arthur is Thomas Wayne's son, and that she needs help from everything. Yep. So Arthur, obviously, he tries to meet Thomas, goes to his house, meets Bruce, and then later meets Thomas in at an opera show, movie show.
He sneaks into the opera show
to
meet Thomas.
Has a conversation with him. Thomas just says that he's not his son, and then his mother is a lunatic, which he obviously doesn't believe, and then it is revealed later on that she is, and she's just wrong, and he was adopted, and he was abused by his adopted mother's boyfriend.
And the mum did nothing to stop it. She just watched
exactly. That's kind of where all his hope pretty much is gone after that.
I'm pretty sure. What I gathered was that the mum adopted Arthur, and fully believed that she was. Like he was her and Thomas's son.
Yes. Yeah. Because she was.
It wasn't like she was covering up. She was.
She fully believed. Yeah,
she believed that.
Yeah, but she was okay with the abuse. Or she wasn't okay, but she would let it slide. The abuse.
Anyway,
so that happens, and then they're kind of intertwined the whole time.
Yeah, and then from there.
Do you want to talk about the ending?
Yeah. So basically, from there, it's like that all happens, and then he kills the people, and everybody becomes a fan of the clowns and the Jokers as a thing against Thomas Wayne, because Thomas Wayne was like, these people are clowns, so they all become clowns. Long story short, when they leave the opera, or when they leave the Bill show, or the Murray show.
I fully can't.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, you're right. Yeah.
Leaving the Murray show, one of the clowns shoots Bruce Wayne's parents, which is like the story of how. Like a story of Batman or Bruce Wayne.
It's basically Batman's origin. Yeah.
Batman. So they basically just gave a little tie into Batman's origin, which leaves the possibility of them tying in Robert Pattinson's The Batman, or Matt Reeves' The Batman, which comes out in 2021, into this whole story.
Yeah. So we discussed this immediately right after we watched the movie. Sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, so this gives the option for them to leave it as it is, or they give the option to tie it into the Batman later on. And it does work out because this movie is set in the late 70s or 80s or something like that. And Matt Reeves' Batman is set in the 90s, so when Bruce Wayne's grown up. And as we know, it's going to be a younger Batman in the plot of Robert Pattinson. So it has the perfect opportunity to tie in if they want to.
Yeah,
now,
perfect.
Do we want this tie-in? Like, what do we, do we want this tie-in? Do we want, just talk about it.
Yeah.
Say things.
It's a hard one, isn't it? I think to an extent, I do want to see more of this version of the story, but I don't know if I saw a sequel and it was did feature Batman, I would want it more a large majority about Batman and the Joker to play a part. I don't even know if I want Joaquin, whatever it is.
Joaquin.
I don't even know if I want him to be like in it. Like, I think if they made a similar movie from Batman, like developing and like hunting the man who killed his parents, because I reckon Batman like will think it's the actual Joker.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was a good way to be like it was the perfect way to intertwine the two characters.
Yeah.
Where it's not the actual Joker that kills his parents, but it's someone dressed up as a Joker.
It
and
it's
like
so easily blamed.
Exactly. It really like and that's why I really really do think they're going to connect the two universes, because you've built that, and then it's just easy for him to grow up and be like against clowns, and then you've obviously got the Joker just ruining the cities.
I want to see the way that his like feelings towards the Joker develop.
Yeah.
Like, if whether or not he thinks it was the actual Joker that killed his parents, which I don't know, he might. But I want to see how, like, it must be so frustrating. Like, both his parents killed. He knows that this guy is somehow to blame, not directly, but he indicted all the riots. He started the movement. Like, I want to see how that played on Batman becoming Batman.
So do I. Yeah, 100%. Sam?
No, it's like, would you like to see a movie, the Batman, if they decided to make it a movie, and how Batman took the city back over from, the clowns have been running wild for God knows how long, and you see Batman try to take it back over. If that was the Batman, would you be upset? Because they're planning for a trilogy, obviously, and the third one's them fighting the Joker.
We know it's definitely not going to be the first Batman movie that isn't.
Yeah.
But kind of, I don't really want to see that. I kind of want to. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
I think I'm on the same page
yeah,
with that.
We discussed as well right after the movie that I see it extreme. I think there should be a sequel to this movie. I think it's very hard to deny a sequel being made. It's such a good movie and there's so much more I want to see that I just find it hard not to see there being a sequel in the future. And I think, but the thing is, I can't see a sequel without Batman.
Yeah, okay. What's your sequel though? Like, what is your sequel? Your dream sequel? What is it?
My sequel would be, he's like, you just show a bit of a flashback that he's been in hospital and stuff. Don't introduce Harley Quinn. I don't want to see that. He's out. He's out. He's just doing his thing as the Joker, really. Like, he's got, like he lives in fucking wherever. He has an established brand. People do fear him. And I think you have to have Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I can't see a Joker 2 without Batman. They just, because at some point, the characters just rely on each other.
It would be hard to make it very different from this movie if Batman wasn't in it.
Exactly. And because they already did the origin for Batman, you can't not, really.
No.
Would you like, how they plan, like how in a superhero movie, you see like a hero establishing like what they're going to do to take down the villain and this and that. Mm-hmm. What if in the second Joker movie they had like, the Joker's preparation for like, if Batman was going to come and get him, or like, like it'd be the perspective of the Joker rather than the perspective of the Batman. Like, would you want that?
I mean, I think you'd have to if it was the Joker too.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like the opposite perspective. Instead of the hero, it's the villain.
I don't really know. I wouldn't want to see him prepare.
Not prepare, but like, like how, like in a superhero movie,
I just want to see him as a character and see what he does, and then have the Batman try and counter that.
So I'm not sure if I want a sequel, to be honest. Like, I love this movie. Don't get me wrong.
No, I do get what you mean.
That's the thing. If they're going to do it, it has to be done right.
Yeah.
Like,
it really does.
I'd honestly wouldn't be... I'd be okay with that if they did like a little 5-movie like tie-in. I don't even know what you want to call it. Like a 5-movie series. Like, I don't want it to be like a full-on MCU, like full-blown 25-movie like thing that they just go on and on and on. I'd like to see a 5-movie maybe tops like story incorporating the Batman or however they want to do it, of just like a little story about this Joker and the Batman, and they fight, how it comes together. Even if you get the trilogy of the Batman, and it's just they wrap up the story in a couple movies, but it all ties in. Because I want to see a little one, but I want to see a full blown, whole thing about it. I just don't think that'll be beneficial. I think that Joker's like a character you can explore for a few movies, but then it's kind of like, there needs to be a conclusion.
Well, yeah, honestly, I'd be okay with what happened. There's no Joker sequel, but he just plays a big part in the Batman 2. and you have him as the main villain of the Batman 2, and whether that leads onto the Batman 3 as well. Just have him in the universe, but connect those two. I don't care if they don't connect Shazam and Aquaman and everything else. I don't give a fuck about that because they're shit, except for Shazam. Shazam's actually a good movie.
That's just
connect Batman and the Joker together and have Joaquin return for the Batman 2.
I think it's too hard to compare, integrate Shazam and all that, because that's like modern day as well.
Do that.
The only way I see it happening is if you say that Robert Pattinson's Batman grows up to be Ben Affleck's Batman. But then it's still just a shit ending to that. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
what I'm saying is, I think it'd be a great. I don't want Joker 2. I think the villain has to be Batman, and I don't think you can have the Joker as the main character and have the Batman do less.
Yeah, I don't see a Joker
Batman
protagonist movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just yeah.
I'd much rather have it the Batman 2. And
I'd rather have a Batman
Joker.
movie with him featuring, or a superhero movie with him featuring as the villain, because it's like the Joker that's being fully explored, and it'd be cool to see how, like, in 10-15 years when Patterson comes in, how, like, what's happened to Joaquin. And even if they decide, like, to do like a 10-minute of the movie, like, featurette of what's happened to the Joker in the time, I'd be cool with that too. Not a big chunk of the movie, but, like, maybe explore, like, what's happened to him, of, like, brief flashbacks, like when he's, like, I don't know, doing something jokery.
Because they wouldn't really need to show that much of him, because I feel like we know the character really well now. They don't need to develop him any further.
100%. Yeah. Do we think that there'll be an increase in villain movies now?
I don't think so.
From either Marvel or DC.
No.
Who could you do for Marvel though?
That's the thing. I don't think I'd want to see anybody else.
Nah, neither.
No, I think. Yeah. No.
He wouldn't be the worst. I could see a Green Goblin, but I feel like it'd go very, very close to the Joker. It's just someone going into madness.
Well, again, I don't know a character that has the impact of the Joker. The Joker's the most, like, well-known villain.
Yeah, and I don't think you can do it.
Again, I think, as you said this, like, whose backstory do you really give a shit about besides the Joker's, like, villain-wise?
It's true. Even, like, I don't even give a fuck about Thanos' backstory. They did that enough in Endgame and Infinity War. I don't give a fuck about what he had.
Oh, you mean, like, would we make
another villain?
I think we're on different tangents now.
Probably. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think you can do anything else like this. I think DC will try again because they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, we got this one movie, let's make 5 of them.
But I don't think it can be done again.
No,
at all.
And
nowhere near to this.
And I guess it's credit to Tom Phillips again. The fact that we're in this era of, like, reboots and, like, long movie trilogies. Todd Phillips made a phenomenal single movie. Like, if they decide to not do anything else with this movie, they don't tie it in, they don't do a sequel, they don't tie it in, it's just this one standalone movie, he has done an amazing job.
Yeah,
because it's like a lot of pressure these days to, make, long running movie series. And, he's made the movie so good that you can go with the sequel, with the Batman whatever story, or you can just leave the movie how it is and it'll be amazing anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's just one thing to credit him on before we wrap up here.
He's really just, like, taken an idea and run with it. Like, we've seen so many billion-dollar superhero movies in the last 12 months.
That have just failed. Months. Yeah.
And this one, he's going, you know what, fuck it. I'm making the villain the protagonist, and it's just flipped everything on its head, and it's worked beautifully.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Incredible.
Exactly. Now, this question here, favorite iteration of the Joker.
Mine is this one.
Is yours this one?
Mine is this one. It probably has a bit of bias because it was a full movie on him.
Yeah.
But mine is probably Heath Ledger's one is very, very good. It's just I don't know. I think this one to me made more sense as to why he is, and that's probably because Ledger's one again wasn't explored.
I think it's so hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's so hard to compare the Ledger one and this one.
It is, yeah. It's hard to compare.
This one had a standalone movie, and it's just very, very, very well done. And Phoenix was very good, like very good. His Joker was so convincing, but playing the Joker as the main character, the protagonist, compared to playing the Joker in a movie with Batman being the antagonist, it's
No, you're right.
subjective,
You're
isn't
right.
it? Like,
You're 100% right. Yeah.
But that being said, because of the role Ledger played, and because the Batman featured in that movie, Ledger's was... I don't think Ledger's will ever be topped, personally, but I think Phoenix's stands alongside it. Like, definitely very good.
I'm going to say, if they decide to do the tie-in with Batman, then I'll have a proper opinion on this topic, because we'll be able to see Joaquin in like a sort of similar situation compared to Heath's.
It's apples.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to see a counterbalance.
I think, to me, I just enjoyed Ledger's Joker more, because I felt like this was more than just a movie about the Joker. It was just a whole like thing about a mentally ill person.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, nice.
That's the thing. He was only the Joker for the last half an hour. He was Arthur for the whole.
Yeah, it was a story about the guy Arthur. But like Heath's Joker, just the way he was just, he'd like, little things like, I think Brian pointed this a bit, like how he'd lick his lips like every like few seconds when he'd talk, and the whole way he'd walk and the way he'd act, and how like he'd be on edge the whole time. It's just those little things about Heath's Joker that I really liked. But then again, Joaquin didn't really get a chance to really explore that part of the Joker because he was becoming the Joker. So I'd like to like re-explore this question when, or if they do the Batman thing. But I think overall, as like a, origin story, or like I don't know how to word this, like it's been my favorite performance of any actor like that's done like a story like this, I guess you could say, because I feel like they like Heath's and Joaquin's are just a bit different. But like when I look at any superhero iteration, his was definitely up there as a performance overall. Yeah. I think Heath Ledger's Joker was better, but Joaquin's performance as a whole movie was one of the best I've seen.
And you can compare like the actors.
I think Joaquin's performance in this movie overall was one of the best I've ever seen of any movie.
That's a good way to
But I think Heath's was the best Joker I've ever seen, like pure Joker.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Yes.
100%.
And lastly, before we end it, how many regular sized tacos out of 10 is this movie for you?
I'm probably gonna have to give it a 10.
10 tacos?
Yeah, I think I gave Spider-Man 9, or no, I think I gave it an 8.
Yeah,
it's better than Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's got 8. I think I have to give it a 10.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen. Probably should have led with that, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to give it 10, don't you? You can't really fault it.
Yeah,
I genuinely can't. No, it's not even like. Even for my own personal preference, I can't find anything that I would have liked to take out or add, because I was hesitant. I was scared that there wasn't going to be enough comic references, because they weren't doing a specific storyline. They were kind of going a bit more separate from that, but they had enough, and they had everything that I wanted. And I think just every twist and every turn was perfect.
Yeah. I think as an adaptation, it was very good, because it didn't have to stick to the comic books 100%. It had its originality, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, I'm going 10 tacos. We're going full fiesta. This movie, I was trying to think really hard of something I could like fault on this movie, and the pacing, the story, just everything about it was phenomenal, and I can't fault
even
it.
Even the visuals, like it was
just visually stunning as well. The artwork, the direction style, everything perfect. I'm giving it a 10. 10 tacos, fiesta. And Sam, you got a couple.
I haven't seen the film.
Great opening line.
But you've all given it a 10. Yet it's not the best Joker you've seen.
It's the best Joker I've seen.
The best Joker, like you're saying, Heath's was better, but you've all given it a 10.
I think. Well, I think this is the better Joker.
No, I think that's different.
But it's
no
different.
Batman
It's not.
movie.
It's a movie.
Okay. Like as a movie,
that's
it's a
why
10.
It's a 10, because it's like
I better go watch it now.
Yeah, no.
Like the Dark Knight for me is a 9.5. At least.
Yeah. Well, Brian actually asked me, he goes, is this the first DC hit? And I was like, if you exclude the Dark Knight series, yes.
Yeah,
really, really good movie. Shazam, I don't know if you've seen Shazam.
Shazam was really good.
I think Shazam's amazing. It's not on this level, don't get me wrong. But
I like Shazam a lot. I thought it was good.
I can't think of another DC film that's this good, because I don't think Wonder Woman's as good as everybody thinks it is.
I liked Wonder Woman.
It's good. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's a good film. I just don't think it's as amazing as everybody thinks it is. Everyone goes, this is the greatest movie. Like, it's just amazing. And I'm like, it's really good,
Yeah.
but it's not that nothing. It's like it's not special.
It's like
It's wonderful.
it had the same impact Black Panther did. Like you guys were talking about on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's what sparked the idea. Yeah, like it has that. I don't know how to describe it.
That cultural impact.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to say it.
It has an ulterior impact.
It's it's a lasting effect.
No,
that goes outside the whole universe,
I understand that, and I know that I do think that the Black Panther and Wonder Woman kind of what's it called were a little bit more successful and a little bit more reviewed better because of that.
Yeah.
But I still don't think they're as great as everybody thinks they are.
Yeah, I think Gal Gadot was a good Wonder Woman. I know you didn't like her.
I don't like Gal Gadot.
I love Gal Gadot. I think she fits the role perfectly.
I thought she was good.
I don't like her.
Anyway, this is a story for another time. Maybe we'll review this on week 20. But that's it for the regular size review of the Joker movie. Do we have any lasting ending comments, lads?
Go watch it.
No, just thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show, and thank you,
Pleasure.
Sam, for appearing and just sitting in the corner. It's
been
great to have you here.
awkward,
We'll get you in a video soon. We're going to be bringing video reviews out soon, so get excited.
Yes.
But from all of us here at the Regular Sized Man podcast, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you guys for episode 20. Have a good one.
Bye.